Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Well, tonight, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are around the world, as we know, we have 57 countries that watch us, members now in 57 countries. I added Afghanistan last night. Oh, there's another subscriber, look, every few seconds. Absolutely wonderful. Well, tonight, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are around the world, I've got a bit of a surprise for you. Well, as you know, we have Meet the CEO series. This is part 2. My first CEO was, of course, Jefferson Boots, who owns a gold mine. And we all get excited about that, buying a gold mine. But that was a private company about to go public on the New York Stock Exchange. But this time, we have our very first CEO who already has a publicly traded company. So we are very excited to talk to our guest today. The purpose of this, many people think, is it a way for me to promote the stock or get behind a company and side up to a company? No, it's not. What it is, as you know, is it's an opportunity for you to speak directly with the man behind the company so you can make an informed decision whether it's right for you to invest in this company. Learn about new technologies, new businesses. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone what to do, even though I know most of you do follow my investments. It's not about that. It's about learning what is there to offer and learning about new technologies, new businesses. And as you all know, I love having people on my show that do great things for the world, whether it's a product that helps people or is the cure for cancer or makes the world a better place. I love that. And if there's any way at all I can talk about it and bring more people to the product, then the better. So today we're talking about WRAP Technologies, and my guest, the CEO, Scot Cohen, is with me in the green room. He sat there waiting. We've had a pre-chat before the show started. And today we've got lots to share with you. So without further ado, if it's your first time here, do click subscribe and ring the bell. I'm happy to tell you that we're doubling our rate of growth every month now. So people love this, and I love doing it. So smash the like button. Don't forget, if you hit the like button, it will share it out to more people, and more people will get to learn about WRAP Technologies. Now then, you've got to be busy this afternoon, not just sit back and watch the TV. There's a lot for you to do. So, first of all, in honor of our interview today, got a bit of a surprise for Scot. Afterwards, every Friday, as you know, we have a music concert, and tonight, this is it. It's WRAP with Scot Cohen. I just thought of that. WRAP with Scot Cohen, the after party. So those of you who love my music and the family, join us tonight, 2 hours from now. After this interview, we're going to be in my music studio on my music channel, doing live requests, having an after party, have a few beers when all the business is done, and we can have some fun. I will give you the link in the chat for it. So here it comes. Those of you that are watching me on YouTube, I know we have an audience on LinkedIn, Facebook, X account, multiple websites, Facebook, all over the place. But the link is in the YouTube link right now. So pop onto YouTube to get the link. There's that. Now, who is Scot Cohen? Well, Scot is the Chief Executive Officer and of WRAP Technologies. Scot co-founded WRAP Technologies in 2016 after developing a passion for helping law enforcement and the communities they serve due to years of admiring his brother's work in public safety. I was just having a chat with Scot about that. I love that. My brother trained with the SAS, so I love the fact he's got that personal interest there. Scot has served in various capacities of WRAP since the company's inception and played an integral role in leading all rounds of WRAP's financing, totaling 90 million as the longest. So he basically earns more than we do on this channel, right? At 90 million as the longest, for now anyway, as the longest standing board member. Scot has led on M&A, capital markets, recruitment, both inside and outside the boardroom, government affairs, and is a key driver of the company's push into wellness. I love this. He has over 3 decades of experience spanning multiple industries, including institutional, asset management, wealth management, and capital markets. All right, there's a bit about Scot. Going to share with you now, this is the website. So what is WRAP Technologies? Well, a lot of it has to do with the BolaWrap. Now, what this does, this fires like a little a bolas, like the little bolas with a string and so on. It fires this at the person that you wish to apprehend, rather than much more aggressive behavior. You can fire this. It goes round the legs or the arms of the person, and that way it protects the law enforcement officer, and it restrains the person that you wish to restrain, and brings everything into control in a much more humane, simple way. So that's one of the products. We're going to talk about that. Now, also, I'm going to give you a little glimpse here to it being used here. Have a quick look at this. I'm not going to play the audio for copyright reasons, but you can actually see, look, you've got a riot going on here. As you can see, lots of stuff going on, and these law enforcement guys need protecting as well. There you go. You fire that, look, it wraps around, and boom. Oh, hello, we got a comment just coming in.
I don't know if people truly understand how valuable and resourceful this channel is. Well done, Martyn. This is a greatest milestone. Go, go, go.
That's a $4.99 tip. I can't believe that. How very, very kind of you. Look at that. Scot's actually smiling at that. He's watching in the channel, noticing what's going on. Oh yeah, my audience are very passionate, as you can see, and they'll super chat the show to help promote it on YouTube and help support my work that I'm doing here. All right, so I'm going to also give everyone the chance to get involved today. Now, we've been running on our X account, formerly Twitter, a post. Here's another one.
Welcome, Scot. Love WRAP and its mission.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. You're embarrassing me now. I told you my audience were passionate and committed. Anyway, thank you for proving it. All right. Okay. So what we got here? WRAP Technologies CEO Scot Cohen interview, which you're about to have. Leave your questions in the comments below. Okay, so I'm going to go below here, and if you want to add your comments and questions, we have a number of questions I'm about to put to Scot right now. Scot's reading that quickly, thinking, okay, let me just brush up on my facts. Let me just brush up on it. So there you go. That's all the way down there. Now, if you want to do that, you can. Now then, I'm also about to run a live poll. I haven't started it yet. There it is. WRAP Technologies CEO Scot Cohen interview. Meet the CEO. After today's interview, do you feel WRAP is a good investment? Because it's all very well it being a great product, but is it a good investment for you to put your hard-earned money into? Please vote in the poll. So I'm going to post this now. Are you ready? Now, please watch it, watch the interview, learn more about WRAP, and then vote in the poll. So I'm going to post it now. There it goes. It's now on our account. Let me share with you, and I'll give you the link right now. So there you go. WRAP Technologies. After today's interview, do you feel WRAP is a good investment? Okay, so let me give you the link now. Copy the link into the chat. There it is. I'll also pin it to the top so it's easier for you to find. There we go. I've pinned it to the top. So listen to what our star guest today says, Scot, and then you decide whether you think it's a great investment, and add your comments to that as well. I'll be interested to get your thoughts. Okay, so without further ado, it is time for not the after show party, that's later on tonight, but the interview with Scot himself. So without further ado, I'd like you to give a great warm welcome. Everybody light up the chat and welcome for the very first time a CEO of a publicly traded company. It's a big day for my channel today. Very, very excited. So everybody, please welcome live onto the show, Scot. How are you, Scot?
Feeling phenomenal. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it. I'm honored and flattered.
It's my absolute pleasure. You are the first CEO of a publicly traded company on the show. And as you can see, my audience are very keen to talk with you. Lots of questions. So I've given you a little bit of an introduction today to yourself and what the business is about. But before we learn more about WRAP Technologies, if you wouldn't mind, my viewers, they love to invest in things and learn about the people behind the business. Because at the end of the day, it's you you're investing in, because you're the one who's going to make the business successful or die on its backside, right? Down to you, Scot. No pressure, mate. So who are you, Scot? And tell us how we got here today.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm coming from an investor perspective. This is where I come from. I started as an entrepreneur, but in the investment world. Starting first, I'm a father of two and about to have a third coming up in May. So
congratulations.
And that's something I'm really proud of, and got recently moved down here to Miami, my beautiful wife, and we're really happy down here. So this has been what I'm doing now with WRAP is truly like it doesn't feel like work. It's really my life's work, but it's philanthropic work that I was doing through my foundation by supporting causes in this space in public safety. So it is a job. It's a very serious job, and I founded the company and I financed the company. And I'm coming from a financial background, having started a hedge fund, Iroquois Capital, with the two partners, and been in that world for most of my career. But to be able to do and really get behind a company, not just financially, but to step up and take ownership, take command of what was started back in 2016 is it's so empowering and feels so right and so and very it feels very connecting and when you really take my family's background coming from public safety. My father was a litigator working for labor, and my brother's been in public safety his whole career. And coming out of finance, to be able to do this WRAP and bring this not only to the market, and not only to cities in this country, but really around the world, is an absolute pleasure. And it feels like it's a complete gift to be able to do this. So this doesn't feel like work at all. I would be doing this for free, but I've been having a blast. And I am someone that puts his money where his mouth is. And that's what this is about. In 2016, Woody and I, my co-founder, wrote the first checks. Totaling, it was about $1 million investment. We thought it was going to take 6 months and $1 million to get us on the belt of every officer in this country. We weren't thinking about the world at this point. And it just so happened we were a little off. It's been about $90 million total investment dollars, mostly coming from people that I'm close with, people that supported me that through my career, people that were investors in my fund, my network. So it took a lot more time and money, but the place we're in right now is super, super exciting. We've been able to create a brand. We've been able to create a product that's really working with a lot of accuracy, and one of the greatest joys is to be able to see it being deployed and watching those videos, watching that body cam coming in, because this product's self-explanatory. You see what it's doing out there. It is saving lives on a daily basis. It's being deployed. You can hear the testimonies about it. You can hear the raving about it. It speaks for itself. And now the real fun is what we do from here. We've been able to establish this as probably the most, not probably, but it is the most embraced product that hit the belt since Taser. And now, as we lean into that and support that and grow that and scale that, which is happening now, what else can we do? It's training, it's the body cam, it's the platform that we're introducing that really is going to get, it's going to make us a lot more relevant. It's going to make us much more complete. And it's actually, I think it's by stepping out into the body cam business, which is really the big data business, on the training front, which you can see in the VR as we look to help train not only BolaWrap, but the whole use of force continuum. And then you step into wellness, which I'm sure we're going to get into. That is that is the solution that is going to transform, not reform policing, but transform policing. So how could anybody not get excited about that opportunity? So here I am. I feel like it's a gift from God to be in this seat, leading a group of people that are highly mission oriented, that are getting connected, that are coming around this for purpose way beyond just trying to make a buck. And
I love
it feels so good.
What a great introduction to you and your business. I have to say that sounds fantastic. So it's not for those of you that are watching now, it's not just a product. It's not just BolaWrap by itself. No, tell me the other side of the business too.
Right. So we found out this early. You just can't go out and sell a product. It's too limiting. You have to train. If you sell it without training, it doesn't work. Right. So it supports the sale. And we found out it's the traditional way to sell training was you go and train physically. You actually go there and you hire trainers, and we have those. And that is a critical part to what we're doing. But as we step into the VR business, we bought it a couple of years ago, and we started to create the scenarios. You're seeing that in some cases, the training is actually leading the BolaWrap sale. And it's certainly supporting, when the officers are actually training in the VR on the BolaWrap itself, it's making them more proficient in using the BolaWrap just in general out there in the field. So it's, and then the exciting part of that is you get to scale that. So that means we don't have to show up at your city or town or wherever you are. You can simply just go into the VR and get better at not just training on BolaWrap, but all the training that we provide. Okay. I think we have 36 scenarios now.
Okay, so this is, and you mentioned this isn't just in the United States. You are a global brand now. Tell me where this is being used around the world.
Oh boy,
is it everywhere or what?
Yeah, I think today we're in a little over 50 countries, but the difference now is now we're not just talking about like a dozen or 100 or 1,000 being deployed. Like these cities, these countries are talking about full deployments, and you don't have to hear it from me. You can actually just search the internet and look to see what some of the presidents of these countries are saying about the BolaWrap. You can see the training that's happening at whether it's being led by the Ministry of Defense or the president of these countries themselves. They are talking about this in a very public format. So it's actually great because that do your own research and you'll see literally countries taking this on, and certain there's been redesigning of country uniforms for the police with places for BolaWrap to sit within that uniform. There's been public stages, there's been funding, large dollars funded, in some cases you have big tens of millions of dollars in funding allocated, earmarking the BolaWrap in certain countries. So this is not a try and buy. This is they're buying and they're deploying, and it's not just 100 or 1,000. The numbers get much bigger, and that's the exciting part. Internationally, they're not using guns for the most part. We talked before the show about what's going on in the UK. They don't. I think they just adopted tasers in some cases, but for the most part in Europe and around the world, they really don't have guns or tasers. So no. We're being really well received overseas. It's fascinating, actually.
You mentioned save lives. Would you expand on that?
Yeah, save lives, save careers. I mean, today, if you go ahead and use an elevated use of force on somebody, let's say it's a gun, a taser, or even a baton, or even your hands, and it's too aggressive, Floyd, for instance, George Floyd, you go to jail for the rest of your life. So there's saving lives from an officer's perspective, and then also from the victims or the people that actually have the use of force the people that actually could get injured for this or killed in a bad confrontation. So for the first time, there's really a device out there that really doesn't use pain to get compliance. Can you believe in this day and age, there's nothing out there that doesn't use pain? And this is the first and only tool out there that's hit the belts.
So that leads me on to everyone that mentioned when I was setting up this show today. We're going to come on to the viewers' questions in a moment, but one of the things they were saying was, well, how does it compare to Taser? Taser's been out for years. What's your thoughts on that? And what's obviously there's no pain involved. You just mentioned that. Is there any other differences that you'd like to talk about when it comes to comparing to Taser?
Oh, I definitely would like to. Sure, yeah. So first, we're not using electricity to get you subdued. So let's just start there. At this point in time, we've never had an injury, so that's really good. Now, I'm sure that will change with time, but policing's a contact sport. At some point in time, someone's going to get hurt, but at this point, there's been no injuries. But if you actually look at the Taser prongs, their prong system where the cables go out and insert, you'll see they actually look like little harpoons. Take a good look at that, and you'll see that sticking in you is not going to feel good and could certainly cause injury. But if you look at the new Taser 10, I think it is, they're actually sending 10 of those darts out at one shot. It's actually 10 harpoons coming at you. That is not going to tickle. But here's a fact, and it's a really interesting fact. It successfully deploys its charge 50% of the time. So you have a device that's successful, I think it's less than 50% of the time from just a deployment perspective. You also have something that could do a lot more damage in the way the cables are designed. And you have 10 of those coming out at once, not 2, but 10. And by the way, if you're successful and it charges and you get tased, if you were doing it where there could have been a lesser use of force deployed as a police officer, you will get sued, you will end up settling, and you could potentially lose your life. So you can't tase somebody from the back, you can't tase somebody on the run, and if you do tase somebody, because all this is being filmed and recorded now, right? Everybody's got a camera and the body cam, and it was considered or defined. If there was something you could have done before you decided to deploy that weapon, it's bad news. It's really bad news. So the dollars associated with that deployment they're scary. And if you look at the settlement dollars from excessive uses of force, it's the very reason, one of the contributors of why police or staff is coming down. It's bankrupting cities. It's putting real stress on cities' balance sheets. It's not sustainable.
I've got to say that the product and the training, the whole thing, the business model sounds fantastic. Much better than Taser straight off the bat. And from what you're saying, and we all know that the need for this, and it protects both sides of the situation. But now let's talk about it from a point of view of a business. Do you have the proprietary use of this? Is it your technology? Do you license it? Is it patented to you? And what does it cost to make this, and what does it cost to produce? So can you as a company make a good profit from this?
Oh yeah, great question. So, it's actually a fairly simple manufacturing process, and right now we're in the process. We've always been optimizing the manufacturing process, but I'm proud to say that we're stepping up that manufacturing arm of the business and looking at it even differently, because we feel like we're getting into the part of our business plan that's really going to start scaling, which should be exciting for all our shareholders. We've done enough of the hard work. You could see, if you look at our social media profile, if you look to see, we've had hundreds of millions of downloads of videos around the world. So people are absolutely interested in our product globally. So check that. From a business model perspective, you could see we publicly put out there that I believe our margins are plus 60, close to 70%. They could even be more with even bigger volume. So MSRP on the device is $1,300 globally. The international device is closer to $2,000 for just the device. The cartridge between $30 and $40. So if you're working off a 70% margin, 60, 70% margin, you can see, let's say our COGS a couple $100, and let's say we're selling it net after distributor. If we're using a distributor, $1,000, so there's $800 in it, in the unit of profit. So think about a country, a typical size country with a national police force is, let's call it 100,000, not including security. So that's 100 million. That's 80 million of margin. Hit that against the G&A or the SG&A, and that's a good business. But the thing about that, and this is where it gets really cool, is if one country, one city, one major, let's call it a major city or a major county or a or country, obviously, takes it, it's a huge signal to the neighboring country or the neighboring city. So we see the dominoes starting to fall. We see when countries start talking about this, the country next door starts talking about it, because it's really hard if, let's say, New York City doesn't have it, but in Newark, New Jersey, they do have it, and they're getting successful BolaWraps, and it's being reported on. Our product's being reported on constantly. When there's a wrap, it shows up in the news a lot. People are bragging. They're proud of it. The politicians are proud about it. The chiefs are proud of it. SWAT's proud of it. They're proud of using new technology. They're embracing it, and they're seeing the outcomes are better than when they use aggressive use of force, and the communities are applauding them for it. And that's what's interesting. If you start doing analysis in the media that's happening here and look to see the sentiment with our product and use it, let's say taser guns, it's night and day. It's black and white. So you can see the public's behind this. The margins are phenomenal, and it scales because it's not just for one city, and it's not just for a dozen police officers within a 1,000-person officer front or 1,000 officer department. It's for everybody. It's for every belt. And now as we go into the body cam, we should be on every officer, both body cam and belt, and we should be training them. And once you're in the training in the VR, then you're higher purpose, right? You're doing it all. You're providing them with the tool that they've never seen before. You've got the training element being deployed in the immersive VR, and now you're tucking in some mindfulness, some wellness, and that's what we're in the labs developing now. We're going to get really good at that because the market's telling us that's absolutely needed. The communities are telling us that's absolutely needed, and we're listening very carefully to the community. This is higher purpose policing. You haven't heard the term; it's not out there yet, but we're going to own that term. You're going to hear more and more about it. This is not about defund the police, refund the police, police reform. This is about transformation. This is about now, right now. And it's happening. You see it. You're going to see it. You see it in our numbers. Look what we did the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. It was 300,000, 500,000, 3.3 million. We had one order in the fourth quarter. I think it was 4.9 million. We haven't announced the fourth quarter yet. But everything's starting. Why? They want it, and it's obvious, and they're reporting about it. And our unfair advantage is the media loves it. They want to talk about it constantly. So you're going to be seeing us in the news much, much more, and we're going to leverage that because that's established us as a brand. It's allowed us the right to go in and position complementary products that support higher purpose policing. This is something we have a right as humans to do better. People aren't happy. People don't feel safe. They don't feel safe not just here in Miami or New York. They don't feel safe around the world. This is universal. So what are we doing about it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you said, I don't know if I got from you. Is it proprietary? Do you own the patent on this? Is this your product?
It is. Woody and I came, Woody mapped it out. I hit him with an idea. Woody and I were involved in a sound weapon back in 2000, early 2000s. And we were going to go handheld. We didn't go to market. We went to talk about bringing that back to market. And Woody came up with a wrapping device, which I told him I'd like to. We decided we'd partner up on it and bring it to market. So all the patents were filed fresh. I think we have another 20 years on them. I have to get, and that's the best thing when people see it. There are some copycats showing up around the world, total breach of the patents, but I would take that as a compliment. It shows us that we've arrived. People are interested in this, and it's not just onesie twosies. It's going to be a very significant business for BolaWrap.
Yeah, I was just talking to you then and listening to you, and I was just sharing on the screen. You look well placed in your financials as well. Looking at the balance sheet here for the most recent range, 31.7 million assets, 11 million in liabilities. It doesn't show any long-term debt at all. So you seem in a good place when it comes to the financials as well.
Well, that's probably, if your viewers, your subscribers, hopefully they'll I want to be super clear on this point. This company, one thing that I happen to be very skilled at, having run a fund and being in the financial world for most of my career, all my career effectively, capital, I live in that world. So this company has always been over-resourced. It wasn't easy. It took way longer. We were not sized the right way at different times. We had lots of different things going on, like any startup would. But I'll tell you one thing that won't happen here is the company will always be resourced, will always have liquidity, because I write big checks. And so do my friends and people that know me, because they've invested in me. A lot of the investors that I have were some of the early investors when I started my first fund in 2001, 2002. Those same families, those same people still show up and are very engaged, are some of the biggest shareholders of WRAP. I mean, that's the ultimate honor to see
Absolutely.
These people from 2000
I can
still with me.
I as I say, your numbers look good, and I'm just looking at the inside transactions, and it's got your name just popped up here. That the company are buying it themselves here, which is great to see.
I just put
there you
in.
are.
You could see this. The last filing, I just put in another. My former fund that I used to run, Rich Abbey runs it now, and myself mostly put in $10 million. So it was a pretty big investment for because I've already invested millions in this company. I never took a dime out. I gave I think it was $3 or $4 million is public, so I'm not telling you anything, to charities. So I gave the stock to charities. I think it was back in 2021, and we allocated to a number of different charities. The charity that's near and dear to my heart, I was working with veterans, getting them jobs. I was basically taking them through technical training so they could be trained up for oil field services. And I put my head down and was giving out lots of scholarships, and I converted that 501c to do the same for police. It's called the Police Institute of Training. And there I was designing training programs with my wife, actually. She did, to offer coaching to police officers. It's not just, yes, there's plenty of therapists out there, and that's important work, but coaching is more holding you accountable and a different type of work. And I felt really moved by it, and I saw what it did for my wife and saw what it did for others. And I've had the good fortune of being with some great coaches, around great coaches. So I felt like I wanted to give that to the police. I wanted to give that to different departments in different cities. But now what's really, really exciting to me is we can do that through the VR. We don't have to spend $500, $600, $700 an hour on these amazing coaches, but we can give that same experience in the VR. And that's coming really, really soon. So this is a dream of mine. Like I said, I was doing this philanthropically. So now I get to run the company, lead the company, build culture, build this ecosystem, build this community, and really set up, do some impactful things around the world. Because when I get pretty proud when I see this on an officer's belt. I mean, it's just a proud moment.
Yeah,
but to take
absolutely.
It on that,
I think what it needs now, though, it just needs for the world. I mean, you've mentioned that you've had some views, but it's nothing in scale of what is available, what's possible. We're just starting out, really, and I would love to follow your journey, help you in any way I can. I know I can rank for this on YouTube within a week. That will rank #1 for wrap stock. I know we will. I've just want to show you this on Alpha Spread, which is probably the most advanced algorithmic software to study stocks. We've got our review on here. I did analysis on it a couple of days ago, and there isn't anybody else reviewing the stock. As you can see, there's no Mad Money, Jim Cramer, Wall Street, no one. Very, very little information. I want to ask you what your thoughts are on this. We've got a bit of a short interest. There are those out there that there's always someone trying to bring a company down. I hate that thing. To be honest, if I had my way, I know it's the game, but I never short stocks. I never do options. I'm a guy who builds things. I'm always trying to find a great business and build a business. I know that shorters exist and all that kind of stuff. But why do you think at the moment? Why would anyone listening to what you've said today? Why would they try to short this into your company? What do you think's driving that down there?
Well, we're not out there
other than their self-interest and greed and all the rest of it. Whatever.
I'm not bragging about this, but I'll just share this with you. Okay.
No, go for it.
Having come from the buy side and the sell side, so I know the street really well. I mean, I was an entrepreneur. I started a bank early on and created a significant hedge fund with two partners. So I know it, and I didn't really have the background for it, but I did it, and it was a great experience. I learned a ton, and it was and it's still thriving today, which I'm really proud of. We're not doing the investor conferences. We have no IR firm. I'm not. We're focused on executing on the business. That's the focus right now. It's not out there promoting and paying for all these programs and.
You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay. If you do a good business, you can. I never advertise for anything, and I can always sell anything.
So here, great. Well, I'm glad we got to know. This is going to be a nice relationship with us.
Oh yeah.
We polled and I love how you're polling your subscriber base. We did the same. I did this a couple of years ago and found out, and this is a really cool fact. Our shareholders, in the beginning, we had 35. A couple of years ago, we had about 50,000. And then we polled it when it was about 36,000. And over half of the base were people out of law enforcement. We asked the question, are you currently associated with law enforcement, or are you retired or have a relative in law enforcement? It was over half. So that's very similar to the Axon taser at the time's base when they were starting. It was a lot of cops. It was very, it was a very viral type of story. It was always overvalued from a multiple revenue and earnings, but it was really cultish. I mean, it had a cult-like following. I see some of that happening in the shares. I watch the shares. I look at the cap table, I run the list, so I see who owns and when they come in. So I have a pretty good feel for it. And of course, and by the way, I think you saw my positions been increased fairly dramatically. I'm up to close to 20% of the company. No interest in selling. I'm not, I care very deeply about this. Like, this to me is like, this is not going to fail. So to answer your question directly, we're not, right now, you're just seeing the ramp. Look, the revenue ramp, you know what the margins are. You see our fixed costs. You see our overhead. So once we put up a couple big numbers, then I think everything's going to change. And what I'm really excited about, we have no indexes on us right now. So all those indexes are rebalancing now. So come around March, April, that's when you'll start to see index action. Our market caps jump pretty significantly on volume, and I think. Thank you for turning your crowd onto it, because it clearly I could see some increased engagement, which is beautiful.
It
means you have a lot of influence.
Yeah.
But I think my view is once we start putting up these numbers, you can look, 300, 500, 3.3, one contract for almost 5, and we'll see what we put out in the fourth quarter. But if first and second quarter come in, it's going to be, it's going straight like this. So I have a feeling it's going to make there's a lot of things that are in play that could really make our shareholder base really happy from here.
I can see it, and I've really we're coming on to the questions now from our viewers. I've really enjoyed this conversation. I'm watching all the different screens here in my studio. I've got 14 different screens that I'm monitoring. There's things out of view that you can't see, and different things going on. And I'm looking at the sentiment, and one of the things I'm getting from my viewers, because we're not just on YouTube, we're on 20 platforms at the same time, by the way. We're on every platform there is. People loving your honesty, your background, where you come from, your understanding of the numbers, the passion for it, but also the understanding of the business, how to make money from it. And of course, investors want to see that. So what I want to do now, I want to go to some questions that we've got here that we're going to put now to, another one. Hang on, what's this?
Great job, Martyn. Thank you, Scott. Buying more.
They're buying the stock, apparently. There you go. Fantastic.
Go.
Right. Let me go now to some of our questions, okay? And we're also going to run the poll. We've just started running our poll, and this is what you are saying on our X account. Many of you haven't started voting yet, of course, because we're just starting it. WRAP Technologies CEO Scott, after today's interview, do you feel WRAP is a good investment? So far, we've just had 3 votes, and 100% of you are saying yes, you like this. 100% of you are saying yes, you like it, and you see it as a good investment. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to put some questions directly to Scott. Scott hasn't seen these unless he's looked on my X account. When will earnings be released? Well, I know the answer to that one. It's at the end of February. Just if I could just have Scott confirm. Is it February 28th, isn't it?
No, I think we put it out. Let me just get a date. I'll be back. Keep going, and I'll get you a date.
No worries. That's the date it shows on Robinhood brokerage account, but it's only an estimate when it's a few weeks out. Yeah. Explain the recent intrinsic body cam acquisition and update on any potential sales, if you can, and just make these like 30-second answers if you can.
Yeah. Look, intrinsic. The purchase has already paid for itself. It's got 90 so. We bought it with 90 so accounts, 0 attrition effectively. Although I'm not sure if we had our first sale on the corporate side, which was a real surprise and opened my eyes to what's available on the and outside of public safety. So a company, a large mining company actually, decided to use it. It was the largest order ever in the history of the company on the intrinsic side, and they were using it to monitor workers. So workers were getting hurt on a specific type of equipment. They wanted to make sure that what the injuries were about and see if it was user error or some other error, and they were reporting that and flowing that back to the insurance companies. So we found a new application, and we found a real demand for from the private side, which just opened up a huge opportunity on the TAM side. So I would look for us stepping into more on the corporate front, outside of law enforcement. Think security guards, think hospitals, think stadiums, think even parking lots, all different types of infrastructure. But the camera business is it got us into the high margin data business. It's reoccurring, which we love. And the beautiful thing, it's perfectly sold. It's a complete complement to this. It sells the system. It makes us more whole. Now we're getting into really a platform, and this is a big piece of our higher purpose policing platform.
And I hate to curb your wonderful enthusiasm, but each time I ask you a question, if you could just keep it to 30 seconds, because I've got so many to give you here, and I would love to talk to you all evening, but of course we have my music concert in an hour and 50 minutes, and I have to be on time. I told you about my timing discipline thing, so I apologize for cutting you short. What steps are you taking to increase investor and institutional awareness of WRAP? That comes from David Cook, who sent in this question. Scott?
Yeah. We're not. I mean, we're not out there doing the traditional road work, hitting conferences, and out there with the sell side. We're not focused on that right now. We're focused on the business. Our liquidity's picked up without talking to any analysts. So I think this is a broad, very easy to understand story, and I think performance speaks for itself. So as we put up the numbers, there's going to be more people engaged in this, and I've spent plenty of time on the road and all around the world, positioning companies in front of portfolio managers. Now is not the time. There'll be a time for that, but it's not right now.
Yeah. You're like Elon Musk. He doesn't believe in advertising, doesn't feel he needs to sell Tesla. And I am the same. You don't need to advertise if you've got a good product. You just need to engage the audience, and the audience will sell it for you. That's what I've always done all around. And I, as a world piano man, Scott, I've been all around the world, like virtually every country of the world as the world piano man, and my shows always did well because people just told everybody in the next city what the show was about. That's the way this YouTube channel grows. Another one, Stalker says, has anyone approached you, or have you heard any whispers of a larger company wanting to purchase WRAP to buy you out? That's an interesting one.
Well, no. Not recently. I haven't heard. You hear people saying this company would look to buy you, or you're a perfect fit for this company, but we'll do it. Yeah. So the quick answer is no. I feel like we're going to be hard to buy because we're staffing up and putting real resources around sales and marketing. We've done this without really properly staffed for sales and marketing. So as we bring that element into this company, I think you're going to see a lot more growth that I think will put a value on this that will be very hard for bigger companies to want to purchase. And to be honest, me being a 20% holder, I have no interest in selling. I'm playing this out.
I was going to say that. I got the impression that wasn't your route.
I got to play it out. I mean, there's nothing. What else am I going to do? I mean, I'm playing.
Well, you could sit on the beach in Miami. I mean, there's lots of things you could do.
Yeah, I am, and I'll play with my kids, and it'd be beautiful. But I am partly doing this for my kids too. I mean, not just the money side, but this is higher purpose. I want my kids to be safe. I don't like what I'm seeing out there right now. I think there's a big opportunity for this to really, and I feel like what's driving me here is I want those kids and their kids to be in a safer place. And that speaks not just in this country, but around the world.
Scott, another one here. This is the question here is from David Cook also. Given the desire by many in Congress to have less lethal weapon options for police officers to detain individuals, what efforts are being pursued to increase the amount of availability of grants and congressional funding or language to encourage a faster adoption for this technology?
Yeah, great question. First off, we've hired people to cover Washington on the sales front, and it turns out if you're a really sharp salesperson, you also know your way around Congress and Senate. So there's people with pretty deep connections into those circles that we're utilizing. And now's the time. It wasn't right before. I don't think the product was developed enough, and I just don't think we had enough use cases. But quite frankly, like I said in the beginning of the show, the proof's in the pudding. The videos speak for themselves, the body cam, the data, it's all there now. So this is the time to be having those conversations, because I do feel like the world is asking for this product. If you just watch the media, listen to what the city council members are saying, listen what the mayors are saying, listen what the chiefs are saying. Listen, they're telling you they want this product. They want change. They don't want the same old. They're ready for it. The question is, who's going to deliver it? I'd like it to be us, and we're taking steps to do it.
Okay, we're coming to the end of our questions. Joe Bell, for the 1,100 departments that currently use BolaWraps, what is the percentage of officers within a department that carry them? Has the penetration rate for the oldest departments grown over time? How many of those departments are in the US versus international?
That number is a domestic number. That 1100, it's higher now, and I actually don't have the latest, but I think it's significantly higher than that. What we're seeing now, I think in the beginning we were selling and training the product wrong. By the way, the other problem was the 100 is a very different product than the 150. The 150 is working much better with almost, I think it's like 85% of the time it's working if it's actually deployed in the right way. It's not a user error. So it works better. And what's driving all this is the body camera. When a body cam comes out, and we don't get all the body cams because they don't have to send it to us, but when they do, we put it out there, or they put it out there, and that's when more leads start being generated. And that's when major cities start calling us to ask us if we'll come in and do a demonstration. There's going to be a point in time we don't have to go and do a demonstration. They're just going to call an order. And we do see some of that, not enough. That's hopefully what we're going to start getting ourselves into, where it's just going to sell itself. It's not there yet, but it sure is. There's a lot less resistance now than there has been in the past.
Okay. One final question on X, and this is from Dan Collins. As the founder and executive chairman at WRAP, you're responsible for hiring and firing all CEOs. You are the 7th CEO in 6 years. Now you take on the CEO role yourself. How can investors trust your capability? This is quite a strong question, considering the turnover history and your inability to maintain one CEO more than 18 months. That's quite a strong comment there from Dan Collins, and I appreciate your bravery taking on these questions without any pre-warning at all. By the way, Scott did not know about any of these questions.
Yeah, no, totally fine. And great question, by the way, because look, when you make change, it's really hard. All those changes were very difficult. I wasn't in a place where I could take this on. I wasn't set up for it. And quite frankly, I had no real intentions of running the company. I had no intentions of running the company. It's just been, at this point in time, I've now made the decision that this is the only thing I'm doing. I'm not investing in other businesses. I'll still invest from time to time, but I'm not looking to operate anything else. This is my focus. And when I dedicate myself to something, I've had a long track record of success. So this is what I'm doing. My money's where my mouth is. I can't point and say, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Oh, this person, that's this fault. It's on me now. And guess what? I like that. I want it to be on me. You're investing in me. Yeah. You're investing in my vision. I am an employee, but again, I'm an owner, and a very big one. And this is what I'm doing for my life. I mean, this is my business life right here. This is inside of me that I'm bringing out, and I'm channeling this not just internally to the people that report to me, not just to our employees, but to this whole ecosystem, to people that are interested in this particular topic. This is a big deal. I'm going to get really much more. You're going to hear the whole vision in a couple weeks. But now it's time for me to lead and take responsibility for this.
I like that, and it's being recognized in the stock at the moment. It's also being recognized in the comments on YouTube, on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm looking at all these different screens. I'm sorry, folks. I did say all questions would have to be on my X post. Otherwise, me and Scott would be here till midnight, and I think people would go, what the heck is this all about? Look at this. We started with no votes at all. And we are now showing we have 11 votes, and 90.9% of you, after today's interview, do you feel WRAP is a good investment? Well, there it is. You like it. Only one person is undecided. Nobody is no, it's not a good investment. So Scott, you've done a very good job as a CEO today. It seems everybody is very responsive for this, and I know because I've been receiving comments all day from my members, and I can clearly see it here on the chart. People obviously like it, like what they're hearing, and obviously feel it's a good investment there. Now then, I'm sorry I couldn't get to any more questions across all the other platforms. It's just impossible. I want to thank Scott for being here today, giving up your time to be on the show. I would like for you, if you can, stay in the loop with me, because once I find something that I'm really excited about, no one works the way I work, right? 10 hours a day I'm in the studio, and have been for 2.5 years, because I want to grow the best, most honest, real, supportive channel in the world. We've raised, fortunes for charities around the world on my music channel. And here, people want a real channel where they speak to the CEOs, learn about companies, find innovative products that benefit people, whether it's the environment or whatever it might be. In your case, law enforcement. And I'd like to follow your journey. Keep me updated. I would love to say that your YouTube channel will rank number 1 for it, but it won't. It will be this channel, so you're going to have to live with that, I'm afraid. That's just the way it is. But that will drive your channel too, because as mine grows, yours will grow with me. Talking of which, did we get anyone today to subscribe because of this content? Let's have a look. This is live. I can't juggle the figures. Let's have a look. 11,500 through the stream, and we've got, let's go the subscribers. Which one is it? 15,200. Oh, there we go. 15,220. And we are doubling our rate of growth every month. And I believe in a few years, we'll be at 10 million subscribers, more than Meet Kevin and Graham Stappan combined. What do you think of that then, Scott?
I think you're on your way to greatness. I love where you're coming from. I looked at your site. I got to see who you are, what you support. I think it's beautiful. I think your higher purpose, you're playing. What I love about your musical background is this is all about attunement. You're tuning with your subscribers. You're tuning with me. We're harmonizing, and I think that's what's really important here. What we do for this is you are obviously got a very engaged audience. We can see it, right here in what we're doing today, and it would be an absolute honor to stay in touch and staying connected. And I'll maybe we'll come down to Dallas next time, and maybe we can get a wrap on you. You can experience it firsthand.
That's brilliant. And literally, as we're speaking, look, the subscribers are rolling around. We were at 2,221 like 10 seconds ago, and now it just keeps going and going and going. This is brilliant. Awesome. Scott, I absolutely take you up on your offer there of being wrapped. I might like it though if I can fire it at you personally. That would be more entertaining. And I'm not sure I want to be blasted at with, but no, definitely do that. That'd be great.
If the stock's over 10, I'll let you wrap me.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'm sure from looking at the numbers today and the way it looks and the way your finance and your work ethic, the passion of my viewers, once I find a stock that I like, you will see how many videos I make and how much information I put out there. So I'm sure you'll do well.
And Martyn, I'm going to just say this, like you're picking up on something really important. Like most of these small companies, they always have money problems, right? This company will never have a money problem. It's just who I am. I mean, it's just, I'm funding it, right? And so this is treated like it's very personal to me. It is business, but I come from that background. Some of these small companies, there's crazy salaries and all kinds of silliness that goes on in the C-suite. This is not a lifestyle company. I'm playing this for the big win. I'm not going to stop until it's successful. Destination to this. I have I don't know if you saw my filings, but when I became CEO, my compensation package for doing it was all based on $1 billion number, and it has to trade there for I think it's 60 consecutive days. So I don't get anything for this until I win, and that's a 500% up from today. So I don't get compensated for being the CEO until the stock hits 20. That's money where my mouth is. Plus,
you're going to get there.
Whatever. I put 5 or 6 in. I have to get the total figures. Never sold. I mean, I'm in this big time for the win. I'm not stopping. It's going to work.
Do you know, I've always said on this show, it's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it. It's easy to be successful if you don't mind working hard. 99% of people are bloody lazy. If I'm honest with you, I've found it easy in my life to compete because most people don't put the hours in. Let me just, on what you just said there about self-investing. So I was touring all around the world as a musician. We're just talking personally now. We're coming to the end of the interview. I like this. I was touring all around the world, selling theatres, concerts. COVID came, killed it all, and I built this studio. And I went from earning a decent wage to saying to my wife, Leah, for the next year and a half, I'm going to sit here for 10 hours a day earning nothing because no one's watching, no ad revenue, no memberships, nothing. It's going to take me ages, but I'm going to stick at it. Mark Cuban, who's a billionaire, who I did a gig from in his house, he said, Martyn, if you be the best of yourself, you'll always win because no one else can be you. And you have a unique product and service and people like it. They've liked your music. They'll follow you on the channel. Keep it real. And I think what you've demonstrated today, Scot, is you have a great business acumen, a great product. People are supporting you. They want to buy it. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you and get you to that target there.
Thank you. It means a lot. I feel that. And I really, you're building an incredible platform, and I want to be part of it. So thank you for allowing me to speak to you and your audience today.
Brilliant, Scot. I'm going to let you go now. We're going to end the show, and in 57 minutes, we're going to be live on our music channel. Tell your friends to pop on in and make a request, and I'll do a song for you, and we'll have some fun with a few beers. All right, mate?
Let's do it. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything. There we go. There was Scot Cohen on the show today. What a fantastic guy. I really like that guy. I think he's all right. Hardworking, putting his money where his mouth is. We can see that you're liking what you're seeing. The subscribers have been moving up throughout the show. We looked at the numbers that's going up today, which is fantastic. I answered all the questions that you sent in via X. The poll now is 17 votes, and you've now watched the end of the video, and 88.2% of you say yes. Only one, I think, actually said no, it's not for me, which is absolutely great. Would have expected maybe 50-50. Some love it, some don't, but you love it, which is great. I'm really pleased, and hope you all enjoyed that. Now then, going to the live questions now. Let me see if I've got any live questions coming through here on the show. I don't think I've see anything coming through at the moment. Let's have a little look. Thanks, Scott. Let me just read these out. We've got some comments here coming through. Let me just read them out to you. Here we go. Let me scroll to the bottom. This might take a few seconds, but I'll try and get through it. Interview time, said Sensei Crypto. Good evening, everyone. Let's have a look. Hey, Sensei. Let's read a few. Good evening, Crag. Great stuff. Just bear with me a second. Yardstick. I don't know if people truly understand how valuable and resourceful this channel is. Well done, Martyn. This is the greatest milestone. Go, go, go. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome, Scot. Love rap. It's a mission. Let's see. It's in use. It does sound like Scot's going to come around my house and rap me. I'm not so sure. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure my wife might find it quite entertaining. Let's have a look. Welcome, Scot. That's from Crag. Welcome, sir. Radiant smile. Now then, would everybody copy and paste, blow up the channel? Would everybody please blow up the channel in the chat now, copy and paste over and over again. Thank you to Radiant Smile. Radiant Smile went out of his way to arrange this for me. It's great for me. It's great for the show. It's great for you. It's great for Scot. It's great for everybody, right? It's great for all those people that are going to get wrapped rather than tasered by the sound of things as well. So this has happened today because of Radiant Smile. So if everyone could put in the chat something good for Radiant Smile, I would appreciate that. That would be awesome.